Fix old cameras. Your successful completion of the demonstrated repair ultimately depends on the quality of your tools, the condition of your camera, and most importantly, your repair ability.
It seems as though the prevalent technique to remove the leather from a SX-70 is to destroy it. That's not necessary. With a little patience and an inexpensive heat gun from a hobby store, it can be removed intact. Once the adhesive is softened by the heat from the heat gun, work a palette knife underneath the leather. Gently peel it back. If it doesn't come easy, apply some more heat. Remove it completely and lay it aside. Now use the same technique to heat up the foil plate. The foil plate lives underneath the leather and covers up the screw heads. Work slowly and deliberately with the palette knife. Reheat the foil with the heat gun if necessary as you work. With a slight downward angle of the front edge of the palette knife, work it underneath the foil through the softened adhesive, and it should lift right up. Before removing the back shell, remove the front roller assembly. You do this by flipping the roller assembly down as if you're going to load the film, and then pinching in on the hinge pivots and tipping the roller out of position and removing. Although not a perfect fit, a CR-VT6 Torx head drive will fit the screws that hold the bottom shell in place. Sure, the driver is seated completely into the head of the screw before attempting to loosen. With the last screw out, slip the bottom shell from the body of the camera. Okay, now what? Well, how about a broken linkage on the drive that ejects the print? There is a workaround in lieu of a new replacement part. Begin by removing, we'll call them the torsion springs that aid in lifting the mechanism as it rotates, so they're out of the way. You can remove them both or just the right-hand one. Access the plastic linkage with a pair of tweezers or a screwdriver and pick at it, and it'll break away, and remove it. Once it's removed, you'll see that the shaft of the motor has a slot in it, and the torsion spring has a lead on it that can be aligned with the shaft slot, and then the torsion spring can be worked down the shaft into the linkage, and so that it can then act as the linkage instead of the plastic. Once the spring is in place, you'll want to put a drop of glue on the coils to hold them in position as the motor spins. Should look something like this when you have it installed properly. You need to balance the depth of engagement on the linkage shaft with the remaining coils left on the motor shaft. Reinstall the torsion spring or springs, pop on the roller assembly, and give it a test. Another issue on the SX-70 that you might encounter is a misplaced loose reflex mirror. If it's not broken, you'll be able to access it and reinstall it. If it is broken, you'll have to get another mirror and reinstall it. To begin by accessing the pins on the hinge for the eyepiece and use a probe to push the pin out enough that you can grasp it with a pair of pliers or side cutters and pull the pins. Gently flop the viewfinder assembly forward so that you can access the bellows screw plate and take out the 4 screws holding the plate. With the 4 corner screws removed, the circuit assembly will be loose and needs to be gently laid to the side. Be aware of the connecting cords so they don't get damaged. Now remove the 2 screws in the center of the plate so that the bellows can completely be separated from the front. To complete the task of removing the bellows from the front housing, the 2 pin posts in the hinges of the viewfinder will need to be also removed. Now move to the back of the camera and remove the 2 pins that attach the top housing to the bottom main body of the camera. Along the side of the camera, the bellows clips into the lower main body of the camera. Flip the lift arm track guide through the keyhole. 2 more screws that are kind of hidden back to the front of the camera, and we will be able to fold back the bellows and access the mirror. Gently lift up on the housing, and the 2 pieces should partially separate. And there we have the loose mirror. It's not broken, so we can glue it back in place with a little bit of silicone glue. It's 100% silicone. We'll put a couple spots in the proper places, and there's little posts that you can use as alignment points so the mirror is properly placed. Once it's glued, let it set overnight before you reassemble the camera. Obviously, to reassemble, you do things in reverse order. Nothing really of note other than the screw sizes need to be kept track of, as they're not all the same. Another thing of note is that multi-purpose spray adhesive works the best to give a nice smooth finish when you glue back on the foil and the leather. Spray some on the surface of the leather and the surface of the foil, not on the camera. Well, that about does it. There's no need to destroy the leather when you want to get into one of these cameras. If you just take a little bit of time and a little bit of heat, you can do a nice job.
Thank you for watching. Inspired? Check back for new video postings.